Hi, welcome to another trip down Underware design memory lane. This is a project called Project Reality, or it's just called Reality in general. It's actually a first person, kind of a Wolfenstein, I guess, Wolfenstein-esque with floors and ceilings and things like non-orthogonal walls. That was kind of our thing. We wanted to have 3D objects in the scene as well, and that's kind of in this version, but it's not actually working correctly. So the demo is made on a stock standard Amiga A1200, with one exception. It had a fast memory expansion in it. It does use a fair bit of pre-calc, and it's just one of those things. Why fast memory was so necessary. I know the frame rate's very low, but at a 1:1 resolution for a full screen PAL, this was kind of about as good as you could get it. These days, I guess there are better C2P routines and better filling routines in general, so you could probably get it much quicker these days. The scene is really just a composite of some problems the renderer had to solve. It's not Z buffered, it has a kind of a vertical strip based Z buffer in it. So you render the walls first and then render the sprites, and there's a few optimizations in there for rendering certain types of sprites, and in fact there's a lot of those kind of optimizations that were in it. They're probably unnecessary, really. The floors, the floor mapping is not great. Just doesn't match up with the walls well enough. It's one of those things where I thought, oh, I'll just fix that later. The graphics themselves, the textures are from, I think it's Heretic on the PC. It might be Hexen. Alright, so now you can see I'm testing a 3D object. So it's rendering on the chunky buffer. The whole game works with a chunky buffer off screen, and then we convert that into planar so you can see the screen. So the rendering here is just rendering in chunky, but the walls and floor are drawn in vertical strips, whereas the object is drawn in horizontal strips, so they can't clip to each other. In a later version, there's a version of it that kind of has that working, and it's pretty limited, to be honest. Later on, I realised that you don't even have to do that, or you could probably get away with just using viewports or portal type rendering. What have we got here? So we're running it in 1:2. This is not running on the Amiga, by the way. This is a capture of a promotional video for Underware Design back in '95. This is a tech demo we had. We had a number of tech demos we're showing people looking for funding. And people were excited, but just went nowhere. Like most of those things, they just went nowhere. So, considering this is a stock 1200, you could get a game of some type working. The objects don't work there. Obviously, without floors, it's a lot easier on the processor. Now I've got something that kind of feels like it could be a bit of fun to play. Yeah, it's kind of strange to me seeing it again. As I was saying before, this is actually a capture of that promotional video. It's not running on the Amiga at this time. I do still have the source code for this, and I have tried to get it compiling on or using WinUIE, and it wouldn't actually compile and run for some reason. I don't know why. I know some of the data files have been lost, which is not good. Oh yeah, so now we're checking the performance with just walls and 1:1 resolution. Obviously, if you went down to a 2:2 resolution, you probably get a pretty fun experience. I think at the same time, though, well, and one of the reasons why we kind of canned the idea was that there was other projects came out. I think Loom came out around that time, and a few others, and it was like, well, we can't compete with that, so we just sort of let it die. But that's reality. It was a thing, it really did exist, and we did send out a lot of demos to people in the scene, and they would be the only demos of it that it ever released. So if you do have one, upload it to AmiNet or send me a copy or something like that, and I would appreciate that. But thanks for watching, and I'll catch you some other time. Bye.